Good morning and welcome to the Shack of Echo India 2 Kilo Charlie. Today I'm back speaking about my favourite subject. Yes, you've guessed it, it's CW, Morse code. But in particular I wanted to talk to you about this little piece of equipment. This is, well, it looks like a black plastic box with a couple of leads sticking out of it and a couple of things sticking out of the front of it. It is in fact a precision electronic instrument. It is a very well produced piece of equipment. It's called a touch keyer. So you can probably guess what it's for. It's for sending Morse code, but it's not like a traditional CW paddle or keyer in that it doesn't have any mechanically moving levers. The paddles, as we call them, they don't move. It operates on the basis of... I'm listening on CW portion of 10 meters. And there are voices down there. There's a lot of incursion into the 10 meter band. Anyway, we'll find a quiet frequency in a moment. So they don't actually move. You just touch them to key them. The paddle was bought on the internet at www.cwtouchkeyer.com cwtouchkeyer.com if you're interested. This is the P1 PAD model, P1 pad. And I bought it a couple of years ago. As far as I can remember, it cost me between 70 and 80 euro, including delivery. Now, you can open the unit and put a standard 9-volt battery into it to power it. However, you can also run a lead to your power supply, which is what I've done. If you run sustained pile-ups or you're a contester, you won't want to be worrying about a battery running down in the middle of a contest and having to replace it. So I prefer to run it to the power supply and power it that way. And then there's the standard lead that runs off to your keyer at the front or the back of your radio. And then there's an on-off switch. Now, I'm not transmitting there, I'm on zero power. So just to demonstrate how it works is you just literally touch it. There are actually no moving parts. What's interesting too is that if you just use your fingernail and touch it, it doesn't actually operate, or your thumbnail. If you touch it with any fleshy part of your thumb or your finger or your hand, it operates. I might just put this pitch of the CW pitch up. I like a low side tone, a low pitch side tone. But I think for the purposes of video it's easier to hear a higher pitched one, so we might just put it up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate it. One thing I will say about the touch keyer is that it does take a bit of practice to get used to. If you're used to a mechanical key, you might also be used to leaving your fingers very close to the paddles or even touching them when you're not actually sending. Well, that's one of the drawbacks of this, or one of the things that you need to get used to, is keeping a space between your finger and your thumb and the paddles, ensuring that you don't accidentally send. It's received quite a lot of good reviews on eham.net. Most people have bought it, really like it. They all say that it takes a bit of getting used to. Even the best CW operators will occasionally mistakenly touch off the paddle, so you have to kind of get into the habit of keeping your finger and your thumb away from the paddle when you're not sending. So we'll just demonstrate. I'll just demonstrate if I can. I would send maybe the alphabet or something here. We're not actually, as I said, transmitting, just for the purposes of demonstration. So you can see that it's actually, I quite like it, but you can see from my operation of it that I am sort of keeping a good distance when I'm, when the finger or the thumb isn't in action. I'm trying to keep a good distance, and that's the reason, is because it's just so easy to accidentally, you might have put out a CQ and you might say please, and you're just sitting there and you're touching off it completely by accident. Now the other thing is that you might have noticed I've put some blue tack on the bottom of this unit. It's neither heavy nor light. It's sort of, I think it's just probably heavy enough for light fingered users to use it without knocking it around. You know, however, I'm a little bit heavy fingered. I always say to my friends that you wouldn't want me doing your heart surgery, or in fact your brain surgery. I'd probably cut the wrong thing and kill you basically. So for those of you who are a little bit heavier fingered or a little bit clunky on a key, Blue Tack is a very handy thing to have in a shack. And you might have seen my other video about the mini Russian single lever Morse paddle. That is so light it absolutely needs to be stuck down. So I'm going to stick this down. We'll put out a quick CQ call and see if anybody comes back, and if not, well and good. We'll just, oh, somebody's tuning there. Put up the power first, I suppose. See, I'm after accidentally keying it. That's what you have to get used to, is the discipline. Q or L, the code for is this frequency in use. You see how easy it is. You have to, it does take practice. Mistake already. And nobody coming back to us, which is probably well and good. You see there, I was making mistakes. I haven't been using this for a while. You do need to practice with it for a couple of days to be fully confident with it. But I tell you, after a while, it's a lovely, lovely instrument to use and a nice thing to have in the shack. Anyway, for the time being, thanks very much for listening in. 7-3. Good luck and thank you.